Hey, welcome back, traders. My name is Brian Horton with BK Trading Academy, professional trader and investor. I want you guys to actually click the description below where you get access to our free Discord community. All of our people who've been following us specifically on Telegram and even TradingView are actually in that room where you can converse directly with one another. We'd like to poke our heads in from time to time as well and just communicate with you guys, making sure that you're fine. But we're actually going to analyze USD CAD, and I'm going to show you what trades I'm going to be taking, what I'm looking for right now. So I'm hoping that you look at this video as soon as possible. Share this video as well. I'm not playing. Share this video right now as well, because I want you guys to partake in this trade. This is just my reflection on this trade. You don't have to take it at all. This is not trading advice, but this is what I see in the market and what I'm going to actually do when I execute the trade. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. All right, guys, so we're looking at USD CAD. We're looking on the weekly chart. The reason why we're looking on the weekly chart is because we want to find a directional bias. What is our bias? Is it long or short? And when we look at the weekly chart, we see the overall chart and what's going on. So we want to find our trend. So really quick, I'm going to mark a trend line. We're clearly in an uptrend on the weekly time frame. Now, where are we at in the scheme of things? This is where price is currently at. We see our highs, our tops, and our peaks from before, and we see our bottoms. So we get to see the entire chart and try to figure out what's going to happen. Now, one thing that catches my eye here is that this strong peak right here was back in March of 2020. And during March of 2020, we all know that was the pandemic. So this was a high at this time, right? And then we see this again right here back in 2015 or 2016, where it pretty much tested each other. Okay. So we know that this is the extreme case for price to shoot up this high. It took a pandemic for price to get this high. So I doubt that we're going to get that high unless something major happens with either USD or CAD. So I marked an uptrend here, but if we go ahead and scroll down to the daily chart here, we can see that now it's starting to make lower lows. And even if I drop down to the 4-hour chart right here, we can see that we have a downtrend, right? So it's very clear to see that we have a downtrend. I can go ahead and even clone this trend line and take it to the top. And that's what we like to do oftentimes, just kind of making a channel, right? So every time we see price bouncing off at the top of the channel, typically price likes to shoot down, and vice versa. If we see price at the bottom of the trend line or the channel, it likes to shoot to the upside. So let's go ahead and dig deeper a bit here. So I'm going to go back out to the daily. Here is my peak here. So price is nothing more than support and resistance. So let me go ahead and show you my peak here by circling this here. And now we're making lower lows here, and we're making lower highs. So that is our ingredient for a downtrend, right? So this is our downtrend. Price has reached the top of the channel, and guess what? And it also reached a previous support zone, now resistance. So here's our support zone right here from the past. We can see price is starting to retest this. And what I would like to see is price shoot back up, because I want to try to get in at the best price, shoot back up to this resistance zone to head back down at least to this support zone. So I'm going to get my measuring tool here, and let's go to the 1 hour so we can look at it a bit clearer. I'm going to just kind of delete my lines right here. So we know we're in a downtrend on the 4 hour and even on the daily. And so we can see how price is currently at this level right here. Now, if we look at it a little bit closer, one or two things that we can do. So if I'm going to get my measuring tool, so from where price is currently at up to this resistance zone, it can retest. It can possibly get back to about 81 pips or so. I wouldn't advise you to buy right now. If you want to wait for price to come back up here, it may or may not even happen. But if so, I would advise for a possible swing trade to the downside for a couple of hundred pips. But if that's something you don't want to do, I see, if I go ahead and zoom in right here on my 1 hour, look at this here. This stands out. This tells me that price failed to break higher. Okay. Even in the past, it failed to break higher. So these wicks tells us a story. It tells us that buyers tried but didn't have enough strength. And now price is doing the exact same thing. So I'm on the 1 hour. I have about 25 minutes left for this candle to complete. Now, one thing you can actually do, I'm going to draw my line here, and we can see straight across, this was support. If I continue to draw this across here, this was resistance here. I'm sorry, this was resistance, not support. This was support right here. And now price is shooting back up to the resistance level. So I will recommend a possible sell here. So one thing you can do is actually market execution. I don't know when you're going to see this video, but you can execute this trade to the downside to where we see the next support. So if I get my measuring tool where price is currently at now, let's say it's about right here, that's about 25 pips. That would be a nice intraday trade setup. Now, if I go back out to the 4 hour, if you want to stay in a bit longer, we want to zoom out and see what price is actually doing a bit clearer. So I'm going to clean my chart up just a little bit right here. All right. And we can actually take it to our major zones. So we were looking at minor zones. So if you wanted to trade from about here to this support zone, you'll get about 25 pips or so. That's a minor zone. That would be your intraday trading. If you want to trade a little bit longer, I would sell from here to this major support zone for about 160 pips or so. Okay. So you have to understand that we're on the 4 hour chart, and this can actually take a couple days to maybe a week or so for this to even happen, maybe even 2 weeks, depending if price goes down and head up, goes down, head up, goes down, and so on and so forth. But this is the next major zone here. So we already confirmed that we're in a downtrend, right? And if I go and zoom back out, get my trend line, here is my trend line right here at the top. And it is actually bouncing off of my trend line. So I have confluence here. So if I zoom back down to the 1 hour, or let's go ahead and look at the 4 hour chart, I have price just touched the top of my trend line, is starting to make its way down, which is why I would do a market execution right now and even sell it to this area right here. And like I said, if I get my measuring tool from here to here, that is clearly about 160 pips or so, just like it did in the past. So all we're doing is looking at the past to determine our future. That's all price action is. All right. So we can see that we're in a downtrend. Price is way overbought. It's headed down. It's making lower lows. And now it's touched our resistance trend line, and it's even touched our horizontal trend line as well as a confluence. So if I even wanted, I can throw in my Bollinger Bands. Price is at the beginning, or actually in the middle of the Bollinger Bands, which is laying as a support zone. Price can even come down and even start to touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band. So if that's something you want to do, is get out at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, you can actually do that. But once you're in profit, it's completely up to you when you want to get out. Now, we always say risk no more than 2%. That's something that we advise our students. It's up to you what you want to do, but we always want to make sure you're risking very, very a low percentage because you want to live to trade another day. So where I would place my stop at, okay? So if I'm looking for 165 pips, so where price is currently at here, I'm going to go out of the zone here. So price retested this area right here. Price can definitely come back up here. It can touch our trend line, or it can shoot past it and maybe wick where it wicked before. So here was our previous wick, right? So price can do something like this. It can come back up, retest and come down, or it can come up, break our trend line and retest this previous wick right here and continue to the downside. And if that happens, we would adjust our trend line up a bit, but I would do my stop loss above structure because we know that it would be difficult for price to come up to this area. Now, like I said, we always say to risk no more than 2%. So you want to go to your risk calculator, punch in your numbers, and you want to make sure that you're risking no more than 2%. And like I said, that's something that we advise our students. Yours may look a little bit different. I like to clean this stuff up a bit. I'm going to take off my Bollinger Bands. And let's see what the MA is saying. So price is actually touching our MA, or close to our MA, in which that can actually act as a resistance zone. So usually if price is below the MA, we're in a downtrend. If it's above, we're in an uptrend, but we're on the 1 hour. So if I went to the daily, we can see that it's clearly below the MA. So we're definitely in a downtrend on the daily time frame, but we don't like to use indicators alone. That's why I wanted to show you price action prior, and then we use the MA as confluence. So guys, that is my take on USDCAD. I truly believe that we're going to look for a nice sell. All right. Now, if you want to sell 160 pips or so, like I showed you, plan on being in a trade for a few days to a few weeks. If it goes against you 50 pips, you should be fine because you're swing trading. 50 pips, 60 pips in the negative is nothing when you're swing trading if you're looking to gain 160 pips in this example. But like I said, if you're only looking to intraday trade and you don't want to trade for that long, you can get in now and then you can exit at the next support zone, which is right here. So if I draw my horizontal line right here, you can see where price touched and retested this area. So this is a strong support zone on the 1 hour time frame. So if price comes back down to this area, it may stall for a little bit, but I do believe that eventually it will break and you have to be patient. So if you're not patient, then I suggest for you not to swing trade. If you always have to look at your chart, I suggest you not to swing trade, but it's all about trading psychology. You have to develop trading psychology before you can actually even trade, even if you're scalping. And trading psychology plays into how you feel about your money, how you feel about trading. If you're risking a low percent, your trading psychology goes up because you know that if you lost only 2% of your account when you're trading, you're fine with that. Now, no trade is perfect. However, if you're trading very, very low percentage, you should be comfortable with that. All right. So guys, that's my intake on USDCAD. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you're going to be taking this trade with me or not. I would love to hear your feedback. Guys, remember to join our free Discord. It's all in the link below. If you're looking to take your trading to another level and join our academy, we have a Black Friday sale from this past Monday all the way to Black Friday. So I suggest you to join our Discord because we have a code, a checkout code in our free Discord in the announcement section that you can go to our website, put in that discount code, and you will get a nice discount from the initial price. So guys, we will see you in the next video and you have a blessed day. Take care.